We've heard that term used in a lot of different ways, but we're going to use it in a different way today, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Because we're going to talk about the frequency of essential oils. What is the frequency of that? It's Hunt for Wellness episode number 130. Hello, welcome to Hunt for Wellness. I'm John Hunt.
And I'm Christy Hunt.
And this is the show where we help you live your best life, mind, body, and spirit. And this episode of Hunt for Wellness is brought to you by waterdistillers.com. Great machines that produce great water for your great wellness. Check it out at waterdistillers.com. The frequency. Mm-hmm. How many times are you going to say that to me anyway?
Yeah.
Over and over and over.
The frequency.
Well, like this podcast, the frequency is every week, roughly.
Yes.
Except for the weeks we take off. And
I think technically that was the period.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's every week. But anyway, so, okay, frequency. We've heard that term used in a lot of different ways. But we're going to use it in a different way today, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Because we're going to talk about the frequency of essential oils.
Right.
Because, well, basically everything has a frequency.
Yes, it does.
So we better kind of, if we're going to do a good little science project here, define what a frequency is. Mm-hmm. It's measured in what? Hertz.
Yes.
And a hertz is a cycle.
Which is like the up wave and the down wave.
Yeah, remember back in the math class, the sine wave?
Which is like an S on the side.
Yeah.
So it's
that is one cycle or one.
It's one cycle.
One cycle per second
is
one hertz. So 60 hertz would be
60 of those cycles in 1 second.
And when you have something that's going 60 cycles in a second, you can start hearing that.
Is that where it starts?
Well, no, it actually starts at about 20 hertz. But 60 hertz is famous because that's that buzz you hear when, like, there's a microphone cable broken or you have a sound system and the power goes bad. Mm-hmm. There's a whole, like, electrician kind of thing behind 60 cycles, but we're not going to get into that.
And what's the refrigerator cycle?
Well,
that hum.
Yeah, that hum in the refrigerator does have it probably is around 60 hertz because it kind of sounds like a hum.
Yeah, it does.
Now, what happens when you get more and 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 more cycles per second? Mm-hmm. The hum gets kind of higher pitched.
Okay.
And it starts making like sounds. Uh-huh. Like if you had 440 cycles per second, it's a lot of vibrating. It's a lot of going through the S curve.
Yes.
But do you know what that is?
A.
Okay. All right.
Well, you asked.
Well, I thought, A 440. Do you know what middle C is? It's right around there.
Yeah, it's close.
It's like 444.
A, B, C.
Okay. Anyway, so a frequency is generally expressed in either hertz or megahertz, which is 1,000,000 hertz. Mm-hmm. And some of those, the human being you can hear between 20 hertz and, I can't remember what it is. It's not very
loud. It's more than 440.
Yeah. It's like 20,000 hertz, I think. And once, when people start losing their hearing when they get older, it's those higher frequencies that they can't hear, like 30,000, 20,000. And so, but with the lower frequencies are easier to hear. So anyway.
Okay, because they're slower.
They're slower. But this is just this is set up to do here at this part of the show is to just get you to understand that
frequency.
1 hertz is 1 cycle per second, and everything has a frequency that is so many hertz or megahertz, and it just depends on what it is, right?
Right.
Do we have any examples of that? Like the human body? The human body has a frequency.
Yes, the human body's frequency is, a healthy human body is 62 to 68 megahertz.
Okay.
That's our frequency.
Right. But if your body starts going down, if you go downhill or your frequency goes down, then what happens? Bad things start to happen.
Right. And so they say that disease starts or begins at 58 megahertz.
Megahertz. Yeah. Now, megahertz, again, that's millions of hertz. You can't hear that, but there's still all kinds of little vibrations going on.
Wouldn't it be something if we could hear each other vibrating?
Well, you know what they hear? You know, like dogs, how dogs can hear things that we can't? Because it's just higher frequencies. They have the ability to listen to higher frequencies.
Yes. Okay.
So anyway, everything's got a frequency. Get back to that main point. Okay, what are some of the...
You know what I wonder? How do they make whistles for dogs when we can't hear them and they know that they work?
Well, I don't know the engineering behind that, but what it is air being pushed through a device, a whistle, and it's got to be vibrating at a super, 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 super high rate that we can't hear, but they can hear.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. What are some other examples of things that have frequencies?
Okay, I was just going to talk about food.
Ooh,
so
let's talk about food.
Fresh
love
food
talking
and
about food.
herbs has about 20 to 27 megahertz.
Okay, now I thought if healthy humans were at 62 to 68, and isn't fresh food good for you?
Yeah, it is good. It is good. But I don't think necessarily has to be at the same frequency as a human.
Okay.
Humans are different than plants.
Got it.
So fresh food and herbs, 20 to 27 megahertz. Dry herbs, about 15 to 22 megahertz. That would be amazing if we could hear the plants singing.
What would they be singing?
Yes, but processed food or canned food has no megahertz.
What?
But how can that be? Because everything's supposed to have
Everything has
vibration.
something.
I think it's just super low.
Yeah.
Super low. And essential oils are from 46 to 320 megahertz.
Well, that's a big range.
Yeah, because different oils have different vibrations.
Okay, and are used for different things.
Exactly, like that really high range is rose essential oil.
Ooh, it's also got a high price. But
It does. I know. I kind of think the higher frequencies have the higher price.
yeah, well, maybe it's harder to make them or something.
Well, it is
more rare. Yeah,
it is true. So, and eating organic foods and freshly picked foods is going to have a higher frequency than older food
or processed foods, which have no frequency,
or very
low.
Very low. Yeah.
Right.
And so since health declines at a lower frequency, it is possible to raise our frequency or keep it up. Mm-hmm. And there's like intuitively we know about this.
Yeah.
Like we'll say, oh, my energy's going down.
I need a little pick me up.
I need a boost.
Yes.
Boost my frequency.
Yes.
Or that person drags me down.
Oh, yeah.
Or this work is dragging me
She's
down.
a Debbie Downer.
Yes.
Yeah. They have low frequencies.
Yeah. Which is negativity. Negativity has lower frequency than kindness, forgiveness, encouraging words.
So even emotions and
Yes.
feelings have frequencies.
They do. Our words, think of, we're actually speaking
Yeah,
in a
we're pushing
frequency
air. Yep.
that we can hear. And our thoughts do too. Our thoughts are real things. They're not just nothing.
Yeah. I wonder, that's like, people who have really low voices, if that's more soothing because it's a lower frequency. Where someone's really high and then they get, irritating.
Yes.
It's got to be something to that, don't you think?
There is something.
Okay.
And, we'll say, oh, that person really brings me up.
Yeah.
She really lifts me up. Or, those types of words we use. So
Yeah.
we know that things bring us up and bring us down, or
Right.
increase our frequency or lower our frequency. And then just things besides words, obviously food, eating, drinking, that's all going to affect our frequency too. If we don't drink water or any liquids, our frequency is going to go way down.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, and like on essential oils, they don't have like the frequency listed on the bottle. How did you find out what those were? Is there resources online?
Well, I was using the Essential Oils Desk Reference for a lot of this material. There's also an app by Abundant Health where they do list some of the frequencies.
Okay.
So you can look up oils, scroll down to the bottom of each particular oil or blend. It will say, that's where it will say if it has if they know the frequency or not. They don't know the frequency of all of them.
Right. Well, if you go over to Hunt4Wellness.com and go to frequency number 130, episode number 130, you can find out, we'll link to those resources too, so people can kind of figure out if they really want to know.
Yeah.
You can find out anything on the internet.
Some of it's true and some of it's not.
Yes.
And there's conflicting
There is, but
stuff.
Find yourself a good source. These are pretty good sources.
Yes.
And because how would someone use the frequencies to help in their mind, body, and spirit, their health?
Yes,
what we talk about.
So, essential oils have the highest frequency of any natural substance. Mm-hmm. It's very concentrated plant. It's like a lot of plants put together.
Yeah.
To make an essential oil.
Well, I bet some of those essential oils you get like at the grocery store or the health food store, they probably have pretty low frequencies, I bet, because they're not concentrated. They're often mixed with other things like solvents. So
right.
I bet the frequencies on those are lower.
Yeah, well, all I know is they don't really work because I used them and tried to make them work.
Yeah.
Or thought they would work and hoped they would work and used them as though they would work, and they didn't really work. They'd helped a tiny bit, but that's when I found Young Living. Someone was telling me, you need to try Young Living essential oils. They are strong. They work for me.
Right.
And she explained that, and I'm like, that's what I need. I need strong oils that work.
Yes.
And that's what Young Living oils are.
Awesome.
So you can improve your frequency with essential oils. They did some tests on people, and one of them was they gave one subject in his 20s a cup of coffee, and he drank it and lowered his frequency by 8 megahertz. Then he smelled an essential oil, and his frequency went back up to the normal range in 21 seconds. But the second subject drank the coffee, and his frequency also went down, but did not return to the normal range for 3 days. So,
the moral of the story is after you drink coffee, smell some essential oils.
That's
so
right.
You get back up there.
That's right.
Actually, isn't coffee supposed to boost you up and not bring you down? I don't know. So we have to check into that.
I know people would not be so happy about that one,
Especially
about the coffee.
Me. Yeah.
But also just speaking negatively brings down the frequency. Speaking positively can increase the frequency. And prayer and meditation also increases the frequency significantly. Yes. So those are great things to do, and literally training yourself to be thinking about what's good and what you're grateful for, as opposed to what did I fail at today or what didn't go well. If I could think about what am I thankful for today?
Right.
What did go well? That is going to actually help me be healthier, have a better frequency.
Absolutely.
And so some other things that we can do, obvious things to improve our frequency, is just drinking our water, drinking pure water, keeping our body hydrated and lubricated, eating fresh, lightly cooked food, and not microwaving it. That changes the frequency of the food. And I remember reading a study a while ago that they gave animals, one set all microwave food, and they all died. And the others, they didn't microwave and they didn't die. So don't microwave your food. It's really bad for it. So it's bad for you.
Yes.
to eat that.
Agree.
And then just getting outside and away from machines, away from computers, away from your cell phone. Don't sleep with your phone. Just those actually can interfere with your frequency. So,
Great.
yeah. And then there's oils.
Well, imagine that. There's
Yeah.
essential oils on this program.
Yeah.
And by the way, as we mentioned these off, you're going to want to go over to hunt4wellness.com, episode 130. We'll link all these there.
Yeah.
And maybe even in the show notes, we'll mark what the frequency is.
Yeah. So the lower end of frequencies, like 78 megahertz and below, are more about balancing and harmonizing the physical body.
Nice.
And some of those are Valor, which is 47 megahertz. Purification is 46 megahertz. Melrose, 48. Peppermint, one of our favorites, is 78. Brain Power is 78. Raven and RC are respiratory supporting oils. Raven is 70 and RC is 75. And then the higher frequencies impact the emotional and spiritual
Yes.
regions more strongly. So we've got peace and calming, which doesn't that calm you down?
It does. You'd think that would be like a very low frequency, but it's probably high.
No, it's higher. It's 105.
Okay.
Sacred Mountain is 176. So these are higher. Forgiveness. Forgiveness, 192. Think about when you extend forgiveness or when you receive it. It's really significant.
Right.
You know? Clarity, 101. Frankincense, 147. Such a beautiful oil, and a spiritual oil.
Yes.
You know, used in the Jewish temple, used in Christian churches.
Yes.
Helichrysum, 181. Lavender, 118. And rose is at the top at 320
Wow.
megahertz per second.
Wow. If you really want to get a boost.
Well, and rose is associated with love. Like, that's the highest thing, isn't
That's
it?
the highest
Love.
frequency.
Yeah, and God is love.
Yes. It doesn't get any higher than that.
Yeah, and when you read about people that have had these near-death experiences, the thing they experience is love.
Yeah.
They feel so loved, so just engulfed with love and acceptance. And so that is the highest frequency.
Love it.
Yeah, I know. So aren't you going to ask me how we should finish?
Do you have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, just one more thing.
One more frequently mentioned thing.
So pretty much we don't really know what the frequencies are when we're just using essential oils day to day. But the thing is they do improve your frequency, whether you use a lower frequency one or a higher frequency one. So just use them.
Yeah.
Diffuse them, apply them topically. You can take them internally with the vitality oils.
Yeah.
They're so good for you. So bless yourself and your family with essential oils
Awesome.
from Young Living.
Yes. Well, this episode of Hunt for Wellness brought to you by waterdistillers.com. Great machines providing great water for your great wellness. Check it out at waterdistillers.com. And we're going to end on a high note. We're going to end on a rosy note. We're going to end on a 320 megahertz note.
Awesome.
Because we love you guys. Thank you for participating in this podcast. And come back for the next episode. It'll be even higher. 131.
That's right.
On the next Hunt for Wellness.